Well, what was that?
Yes. That was the theme for Sunday Contact,
Is
my
that
love.
so?
Yes, indeed.
Really?
It's so refreshing to hear it.
Because usually you're working with it.
With it,
Ralston,
yes.
Mckenzie, congratulations.
Thank you
48
so
years in the
much.
business,
Yes.
33 years Sunday
35
Contact.
years.
35, beg your pardon, Sunday
Yes.
Contact. Well, here we are. Now, hold on. Did you really steer a banana boat when you're 7 years old across the ocean for a little bit?
For a little bit, yes. Myself and my bigger brother, Clive, we were invited by the captain of the Biano, one of those banana boats, en route to England to join Dad. He was up there in the Air Force. After the war, he stayed on, and the whole family was going up. And the captain loved our little family, Mom and the four of us. And he called us up to the crow's nest of the Biano and to just look and see how the helmsman did it, with the compass. And when you're up there, you're looking down at the bow of the ship, and it looks so far away.
Especially when you're 7.
When you're 7, yes. And, cutting the water and going through. And then he invited my brother first and then me to take a hand at steering the ship, keeping it steady and backwards and forwards. And we were thrilled beyond belief.
Were you the only children on that banana boat?
No, there was another little boy, an English lad, and he was going up to rejoin his parents in England.
Let's step back a bit. You're born at Lineen, Victoria Jubilee Hospital.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And you went off to live in St. Catherine, because that is where the family lived.
The family lived,
What were
yes.
those early years like?
Well, when I recollected, they were pleasant, yes, because we went to school, primary school, prep school, really. And my mom did her best to ensure that we were all well looked after. Dad was away. We didn't know him yet, I only had faint recollections of him picking me up as a little child and carrying me for walks.
This is before he went off to England?
This is before he went off to England, yes. He went off to England in 1944, before the war ended. And why, up to this day, we still don't know how he could leave his lovely wife and our mother and trek off with, at the time there were 3 of us. Mom was pregnant with the last boy.
The 4th?
The 4th child, Eric, yes. The war was, in a sense, getting to a close, in a sense, I think they were planning D-Day in 1944. And they sent out a circular around the Commonwealth, really, for more men and women to come into England in preparation for D-Day. We would never have known this, at that time. And Dad took off with many other Jamaican men and women out to England.
But he returned.
Yes, he did. He did, yes.
So he was there working in the Air Force.
In the Air Force, yes.
And was moving up in the Air Force as well.
Yes, he was promoted in rank. He stayed on after the war. And but what struck me, the fear of his boat being torpedoed by the German U-boats en route to England. I don't know if they thought about that.
Maybe they didn't, or maybe they did.
Crossing the Atlantic,
Yeah.
But anyway, he got promoted to the rank of a sergeant. So when we arrived in England, he was by then a sergeant.
But he did come back before you went to England.
Yes, he did. He came back in 1948 on shore leave for 3 weeks, and it was just joy and celebration at home. Listen to me, Mom used to cry after him. Oh, she wept bitterly, missing Dad. And I was a crier because I used to cry with her, to help to soothe her, kind of thing. So when he came in 48, he came on the Windrush, by the way. We hear a lot about the Windrush now. Then was the first time that the Windrush plied between the UK.
The Caribbean and the UK.
And the UK, yes. And they were booked to go back, of course, after 3 weeks.
So he went back after 3 weeks.
Oh, yes, he did.
But he had made arrangements for his family to
For his
follow.
family to follow. Yes, a few years after.
So he left what? He went back in 48?
He went back in 48.
And then you all followed in 1950.
50, correct.
Let me take you to England.
Yes.
Can you recall? You have a fantastic memory when you got to England. What was it like for a 7-year-old boy in a strange country?
But also cold.
Yes.
Let me tell you, we bawled the first day we landed. We for the first time, we were blowing steam through
What time of year was it?
It was January,
Whoops.
the middle of winter.
Whoops.
So you can imagine. They came for us at a port called Avonmouth.